Welcome to the podcast of Terrace Consulting. Hello and welcome to a new episode 88 already of this series of interviews. I have the pleasure today of having with me Krystle Burr, the director of Krystle Recruitment Solutions, a recruitment agency specialized on top talent for the hospitality industry, particularly in hotels. Krystle, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you very much for having me. How are you?
Very good. Thanks very much. Krystle, now she has her own firm recruiting talent, top talent for hospitality business, especially in the UK, where she's based, but she has a very long career in the recruitment industry. So as always, I like to start with you describing that career. So briefly, how you went, why you chose hospitality to start with, and then how your career has been.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think maybe like a lot of people, I kind of just fell into hospitality actually. So I did my bachelor's degree in business management, and that degree was a 4-year course. And part of that course, we were required to do what we called at a time was a year in industry, but essentially it's a placement year. So I did my 2 years at uni, and then I went off and did my placement year, which I did at Hilton London Metropole, which at the time, and actually it still is, one of the largest conference and events hotels within Europe. So really big hotel, over 1,000 rooms, very, very busy. And I spent a year there as part of my placement year and working within the HR team, focusing on recruitment. So assisting with recruitment at all levels, all departments throughout the hotel. So really great opportunity, really great grounding for my first role, if you like, within hospitality. And then after my placement, I went back to university to finish my degree and finish my course, my final year. During that time, my manager at Hilton at the time actually moved on to AEG to open the O2. And he contacted me and said, did I want to come with him and assist with the recruitment for the opening of the O2, which of course I jumped at, and it was a great opportunity for me. So I was actually working there part-time whilst completing my degree and completing my university course. So very busy. It was pre-opening, lots of recruitment, lots of assessment days, lots of late nights and long days, but really great opportunity and really great time there. And then when I finished my degree, I actually stayed on with AEG and worked there full-time. And I was there for just over 7 years. And I'd say AEG really was probably the company where I grew up from a career point of view and where I developed. So I developed within AEG. And when I left, I was the recruitment and training manager for all of the UK businesses. So AEG, they own and operate the O2 and the entertainment venue at North Greenwich. They also operate Hammersmith Apollo, Wembley Arena, any events that took place in Hyde Park, and also Thames Clippers River Services. So I was the recruitment and training manager for all of the London businesses with AEG. So very busy, very varied. And again, it was, I was working within the HR team, but specifically focused on recruitment. And it would be recruiting all level of roles, all the way from operational positions, all the way through to the commercial and corporate support services as well. So really busy position, but a great opportunity. I really loved my time at AEG. Like I said, I was there for just over 7 years. And then after that, I moved to PST, which is an executive recruitment consultancy. And there I was working within the hospitality team, but predominantly focused on hotels and recruiting senior level positions within the hospitality and within the hotel industry. Again, great company to work for, was there for just over 5 years. And then from there, I took the opportunity to start up my own recruitment consultancy. So started that, I think, just over 18 months ago now. So Krystle Recruitment Solutions, been going for 18 months. And again, really focused on hospitality, hotel, leisure and travel industries, focusing on recruiting senior level roles into those businesses and those operations. And that's where we are today, and brings you up to date.
Perfect. Thanks very much for going through it. So you studied business, and then you happened to go into hospitality because you started at the Hilton. So, but did you think beforehand, and did you consider the industry beforehand, or was it a coincidence that you started your internship in the hotel?
Yeah, it was a coincidence, to be honest. I don't think hospitality wasn't necessarily something that I thought, well, that's the industry for me, and I'm definitely going to go into it. Obviously, I did my placement at Hilton and had that opportunity, and I think it really did open my eyes to what hospitality is all about and what hotel industry is all about. So I think probably like a lot of people, I did fall into the industry, but it's definitely been a conscious decision to stay within hospitality, and actually more so recently, the last few years, moved back to hotels specifically. And a lot of work that I do at the moment is very hotel focused, and I'd say that I definitely, hotels are definitely my main clients and where I focus a lot of my energy. So yeah, it's just it's a great industry. I find there's like-minded people. Most people working in the industry are passionate and enthusiastic and fun to work with as well. So yeah, it's a great industry to work with, but probably not one that I anticipated moving into when I was a student.
There you are, almost 20 years later, and still strong.
I know, time flies.
So going through your career, have you had any mentor, anyone who helped you at your beginning, maybe, or went with you through your years in the industry?
Yeah, definitely. I think, there's throughout my career so far, there's actually been quite a few people that have been inspirational or that have helped me, kind of to get where I am at the moment, to help me throughout my career to date. I'd say a couple of people to mention. Kirsty Loveridge, she is the VP of HR for AEG Europe, and she was my line manager whilst I was at AEG Europe in the O2. She was a great support to me during my time there and really helped me, develop my skills as a manager. And supported me on my career growth during my time, and has definitely been a support to me. So absolutely, Kirsty. The second person, without doubt, is Helen Morris from PSD. She's a director at PSD, and she was, throughout my time there, a mentor to me, and spent a lot of time, and we spent a lot of time together and working together, and she helped me with my career there. And even still to this day, not working at PSD anymore, but she remains my mentor. And, if I need anything, we'll always call her. And, she's definitely been an inspiration, to me throughout my time. And then probably if I could just slip one more person in there, finally would probably be my dad, to be honest. He's always been an ambassador and a support of what I do, but he's quite entrepreneurial in his outlook. And, definitely when I said, I'm thinking of starting up my own business, and, he was really supportive and really helped me in those early days in terms of setting the business up and what I needed to do. And, he's always somebody that I will turn to if I need advice or I'm not sure about something. So, yeah, like I said, a lot of people throughout my career, but those three probably, definitely stand out.
Brilliant. I think this is the 60th interview that I do. Usually I start with the same questions. I think it's the first time that someone ever mentioned someone from their own family. So credit to you on that. Really. Usually it's purely professional, but they having that kind of figure, that's great. It's good.
Yeah.
Now going into business, let's say your business, the pandemic. It's been obviously is the news for the last year and a half. Hopefully soon we'll be over it, but it's changing, reshaping a lot of the industry, especially when it comes to different roles. So from what you've seen, your contact with hotels and other parts of the industry, what are the main changes happening when it comes to talent and recruitment due to the pandemic?
Yeah, I think we've already seen a lot of changes, to be honest, in terms of talent and recruitment. At first, throughout when the pandemic first started last year, I think we saw a lot of businesses take the opportunity to look at their teams, restructure, streamline, look at commercially what makes sense in terms of saving money, etc. And unfortunately saw a lot of redundancies as an output of that. So I think we've been through that and we've seen a lot of that. And I think now we're at a stage kind of 18 months on and down the line where it's no secret that the hospitality and hotel industry in particular is struggling to recruit. And I don't think it's necessarily just UK wide, it seems to be across Europe as well. And I think maybe a couple of reasons for that is a lot of people within the hospitality industry have actually gone home, whether that's a direct impact of the pandemic or Brexit, I'm not sure, but either way, a lot of people unfortunately have left the UK. And then also just the talent pool in terms of people that were working in hospitality has just reduced quite significantly. Unfortunately, during the pandemic, when hospitality shut down and hotels closed for a period of time, a lot of people looked at other industries and looked at what their transferable skills, where they could move and where they could utilize their transferable skills in other industries. And I think unfortunately we have lost a lot of good people from the industry to other companies and other industries outside of that. So moving forward, I think we really need to focus on promoting hospitality and promoting hotels as a really great place to work, with lots of career opportunities and lots of development opportunities as well for individuals. Be open-minded at looking at other candidates and other people from outside of hospitality and bringing them in and utilising transferable skills, and looking towards young people, and again promoting the industry to young people. And it's not just an industry to work at whilst you're at university or whilst you're at college part-time. It's an industry full of lots of opportunities, and career opportunities as well. So I think promoting hospitality I think is really key for everybody moving forward. The other change, which I think is a direct result of the pandemic, is the flexibility in terms of working from home. So hospitality pre-pandemic, was very much in the office, and it's a difficult one for hotels because if there's so many roles that you have to be at the hotel, if you're working in food and beverage or you're working in housekeeping, it's not a role you can do remotely. You have to be physically there in the hotel. So it's a real challenge for businesses to get right. But definitely what I'm seeing in terms of the candidate market and in terms of roles where they are able to be more flexible, whether that's on the commercial side or on the support side positions, it's, candidates want that moving forward. They want the flexibility in their role, whether that's 1 or 2 days working from home a week. But it's definitely a requirement that I'm seeing a lot more from candidates coming through. So definitely something to think about for businesses moving forward and how they manage that within their own teams.
Okay, that's interesting, very interesting point for companies to realize that it is, as you say, a requirement for candidates to have flexibility.
Yeah.
There is another point there when it comes to a consequence of the pandemic, and it's how much the companies in the industry have digitalized. So they've embraced different software solutions to get certain tasks done. Do you think, or have you seen that having a direct impact on certain roles? Are some roles disappearing or reshaping because of the technology?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question, actually, and it comes up quite a lot. I think technology versus people and that kind of thing. Yes, there has been some roles which have been combined, which has been a result of the pandemic. I don't think that's necessarily a result of technology. I think from hospitality perspective or from the hospitality industry, I think technology is always going to play a part, and we're always going to be looking at how we can be more efficient or streamline processes. And I think technology is going to play a part in that. And actually, I think that's something that should be embraced and something that's positive, and actually, something that we should continue to push for. And like I said, technology is going to play a big part in that. Ultimately, though, hotels and hospitality in general, but hotels definitely, it's a people person industry, and it's all about, I know when I go to a hotel, you want that kind of personal touch, and it's about creating memorable moments and special memories. And I think, there's only so much a machine can do and technology can do, and ultimately, that people presence and that personable touch, I don't think is ever going to go away. And from a hospitality point of view, I think it's really important that we keep that.
Okay, noted then. So we'll keep having that personal touch, hopefully in most of the roles in the industry. One point you mentioned earlier, it was about we have to try to attract talent, showing people that the industry is a great place to work. But at the same time, the industry has had a bad reputation for not investing much in talent, on development, people training. So is that changing? You've seen the industry, the companies changing that investment, how much they invest in people to change that perception?
Yeah, I definitely see a big change in that. And I think even pre-pandemic, to be honest, but definitely now, there's lots of great examples of companies that are really putting talent management at the forefront of what they do and making it a real agenda point. So there's lots of great companies out there that are really focusing on talent management and developing their staff and looking at career, succession planning and career opportunities and development from within as well, and looking at training as a whole. So there's some great examples and great companies that are doing that already. So I think definitely that's something we need to, or that businesses need to continue to push and continue to evolve and develop, because, like you say, from a retention point of view, it does keep candidates, or it does keep employees in, and from retention and from a morale point of view, it keeps morale up as well. So I definitely think it's more of a focus now. I think if there's a area that hospitality does need to focus on compared to other industries, and especially with the whole attraction and candidate management piece as well, is actually the reward and benefits that are being offered. So, historically, hospitality and hotel companies, don't offer great benefits. A lot of what they do offer is statutory. So whether that's statutory holiday, statutory sick pay, statutory parental leave, whatever it might be. And actually, I think, other industries are way ahead in terms of what is being offered from a benefit and a reward and recognition perspective. So I think that if there's any area to continue looking at recruitment, the training and development side, which I think is already high on the agenda, but to continue to do that, but also look at the reward and recognition and make sure that we're on par, if not trying to be better than other industries in what is being offered.
Well, it's great to hear that companies are focusing on that and changing. That's very good news. Now, a bit of a generic question. I don't know if the answer is going to be easy, but young people considering joining the hospitality industry, or the ones who are already studying hospitality and they're thinking now, well, did I do was it the right choice? Is that the right industry? So what kind of advice would you give them, knowing as much as you know about the industry and recruitment? Any advice for those young profiles?
Yeah, so yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great industry to work in, and it's a great industry to start your career in joining. And my advice would be to really get as much hands-on experience as possible. I think hospitality and hotels in particular, there's so many, and I've touched on it already, but there's so many career opportunities for young people, for people in general, whether that's, if you focus your career on the operational side, so looking at the food and beverage departments, rooms, housekeeping, or whether you look towards a more commercial opportunities, such as working in revenue, sales and marketing, business development, or even the support services, support side things, so HR, IT, there's so many different departments and so many opportunities that make up a hotel. So it's a great industry to start in. And my advice for young people is absolutely just get as much hands-on experience as possible, be open with your choices, look to other departments, look at what they do, look at understand the skill set required to do that. And then finally, the other thing that I would say to young people starting out in hospitality is just to enjoy it, to have fun. It's a great environment, it's a great industry to work in. I know myself, I've made a lot of, lifelong friends in this industry. So it's a fantastic industry to work in. So yeah, just be open, get as much hands-on experience as you possibly can, and just enjoy it, have fun.
All right, brilliant. Nice one. And another difficult one. Is there a sort of skill set that you can see across the different roles, or are they? I mean, I know you just mentioned yourself. There are endless different roles in the industry, so very different from being back office, front office, and dealing with people or not. But are there some skills that repeat themselves in most roles, are kind of requirement?
Yeah, I mean, that is a difficult one because there are so many different specialities within hospitality and hotels, and obviously different roles require different skill set and different technical skills as well. I think ultimately, if there were kind of two skill sets which probably run across all of those disciplines, is definitely a passion for what you do and enthusiasm. I think if you're passionate about what you do and you're enthusiastic about the role that you're in, then you'll get far. So I think definitely being passionate is a skill set that's important. And then the other one I would say is communication. You've got to be a good communicator, whether that is dealing with guests on a day-to-day basis, face-to-face, or whether that's dealing with other departments and other colleagues within the hotel or hospitality industry. But yeah, being a good communicator is really important. So I think, very generic skill set for people starting out in the industry or people wanting to develop in the industry is, communication and just the passion and enthusiasm as well.
Perfect. Noted then. Also, thanks very much. One last question for you. I don't know if you have any, you work with any charity, if you have any organization that you support that you'd like to mention here. Now you say chance.
Yeah. I think it's important to try and do what you can for the local community and charitable events where you can. There isn't one particular charity which I'm involved with support with. In the past, I've done quite a few of the bike rides from London to Brighton for the British Heart Foundation, so raising money for that. And then most recently, currently, I'm in conversations with the local council at the moment in terms of what KOS Krystle Recruitment Solutions, what they can do for the Afghan refugees coming in, and looking at if I can support in terms of CV writing or interview skills or career advice, whatever the case might be. So I'm in conversations at the moment with the local council to offer my services, where I can for that.
Well, that's very nice. I'm very actual and very current. Good point. Well, thanks very much for your time. First thing, obviously, and then for that message. Krystle Burr, it's been a pleasure. Director of Krystle Recruitment Solutions, recruiting top talent for senior management roles in the hospitality industry, particularly in hotels. Again, thank you for your time.
And thank you, Pablo. Thank you very much for having me.
That was all for now. Hope you found it useful. Remember that you have more information on our website, www.torresconsulting.co.uk, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and Twitter. Stay well. Goodbye for now.